Hey, how you doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to our sixth episode of What's the Solution with your girl, Molly Ferdinand, in case you're new around here and the title didn't give it away. Today we're going to be talking about what's going on in Canada. As always, just here to stir up good conversation and get people thinking differently about certain areas of our society that I think need re-examining. Um, I am a clairvoyant of sorts, and I'm a pattern finder, a human deception intention detector, if you will. And I am obsessed with solving the problems of the world and why everything. And because of that, I have a few answers. I want to share them with you tonight in hopes that it might make a difference because we need to level up as a human race and we also need to come together to do that. So hopefully these live streams can accomplish that a little bit. And before I say anything, everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. These are just my opinions based on my current knowledge with this weird little unique lens that I seem to have. And I think it might be beneficial to share it with y'all. So here I am. So let's jump right into it by saying that the world is splitting into two. Just like people have been talking about as long as I can remember, when people talk about this great awakening, but it sounded so whimsical until it started playing out right in front of my eyes. As somebody who's instinctively always viewed myself as some kind of bridge of sorts to help people from one side to the other, what are these two sides that I'm even talking about? Well, as far as I can see, the world is splitting into, I would say, complicit and non complicit is what it's looking like. Um, People who are going to go along with things and people who won't. And as a non complicit, it's pretty hard for me to understand my friends who are complicit, who are deliberately ignorant of the truth. But this is what I'm seeing. It's a whole country mind captured by propaganda. That is seriously the state of affairs here in Canada. And the only way out of it is to demonstrate the lie. So if you are like me and you can plainly see the writing on the wall, I hope you can join in the fight to sincerely bring more people to also see so that we can remove the power these monsters running our government have over us. That is my hope in having this dialogue with you all right now. I don't have interest in forcing people to see things the way I do because it's the way I do. It's about seeing crimes happening and and being crimes that are being committed by people with power. Once upon a time in Germany, school kids were fed a message about a certain race from the time they began school, and by the time these children were done school, their hate was hardwired. Therefore, by the time World War II came around, the masses had no problem with treatment of certain races. Their hatred made them complicit in all kinds of atrocities that followed over the next 4 years. So much so that the Russian army forced the German people to walk through concentration camps and to see the mass graves so that there could be no denying what happened because there was a lot of people that denied it. This, what we're living through right now, the globalist movement, is the modern day version, except the carnage is your rights, freedoms, and your quality of life. And there's a lot of people defending people who are deliberately trying to strip everyone of their rights, and it makes zero sense. When I try to understand this behavior, the best I can come up with is people just don't want to be wrong. And I totally understand that. The media has created such a fight between us that there's a lot of pride in this fight now, pun intended. The left can't debate talking points. They name call, they generalize, and no one can justify their level of rage because it's manufactured inside of you. My own parent told me to get, because I was trying to explain this to them. The level of rage doesn't match the actions happening, and the left only has rage for Donald Trump. It's a real syndrome these days. But there's no rage for our citizens. They themselves are being abused and defending their abuser. Tell me what the difference is between a liberal supporter and a woman that just got punched in the face by her man. Can you hear this groveling conversation she has with the cop after about how he's actually a really good guy? That's how I see this whole country. The media has done a wonderful job of convincing a lot of people that the government is doing anything but good. And the media are fully subsidized by the government. So I don't know why on earth we have such a hard time believing that they're puppets for the government. People don't watch TV anymore. CBC on YouTube won't allow comments and debate because they know they are full of, and Canadians are waking up. This is one of the greatest crimes committed on humanity. And even though a lot of us realize it, they're trying to keep this going. Thank God for the Fauci congressional hearing, though. Um, Mark Carney is an absolute POS, and I'm going to say that while it's still free to say that, but no one elected him. He has frequented Epstein's Island. He's a globalist POS that really doesn't care about any of our lives. He wrote the recommendation letter to invoke martial law on peaceful protesters, and he doesn't say a word to acknowledge the masses of this country or the mess he put us in. He denies it, and then the idiots who don't know how to question information are not affected by this crisis financially all sit there and go, he's our guy. I have literally heard baby boomers say those exact words to me. He's our guy. Based on what? Based on what? Because the TV said so? Because look around. Like, and this is not, I say all of this with great compassion, but I do have frustration with the level of ignorance because it does actually quite very much affect my life. But to admit that there's a problem is almost to say they were wrong all along. And not many of the upper class seem to want to be capable of acknowledging the struggle of those below them. I've said it many times before through the last 4 years of my own personal desperation. I've seen the very ugly side of people with money, and I will tell you, they help the least. I busked downtown Toronto, and well-dressed people stepped over my guitar case as if I wasn't there, and homeless people couldn't empty their pockets fast enough. And it's been varying versions of that throughout the last 4 years that I've seen. I've been so low, I've even had to ask for help. And I can tell you that the people who had means to help said no, and the people who didn't have the means to help said yes. And they did whatever they could because they understand what real struggle is. And it's this same attitude. This is why I have a problem. It's the same attitude that's keeping the liberals in power because rich folks like to blame less fortunate people for their own problems. That way, they don't have to feel their own guilt for doing nothing to help. They blame everyone and everything except for themselves. I see it. It's a very selfish attitude and it drives me crazy. And that same ignorant attitude is keeping all of us less fortunate, which is growing by the day, in this position under the liberal thumb. This is the only reason I care, have a stake in this argument. I made a call last week to find out about bankruptcy personally. I'm about to lose my car, and I wanted to know what my options were. I took the time at the end of the call to ask what they are seeing for numbers, people filing for bankruptcy, and I was told that we are at 2008 numbers. I say this recession isn't really technical. Again, the liberals refusing to acknowledge the problem, the media repeating it, and the baby boomers ingesting it and believing it to be true. It's just technical. Yeah, it's been technical while I was literally starving in Alberta because food bank lines take 2 months. My bills are technically not paid. It's technical, all right. And the media lies, not in fact, but in fundamentals. They lie about intent. They lie about characterization. They lie about what people think and say, and they get away with it because the fact that they offer is true in some form. Probably not the way the media painted it, unless the truth is in their favor, but that rarely happens. I want to play, I don't think I can. I wanted to play a video for you all. Um, Now that people's eyes are really, really opening with the Fauci trials, people are really understanding what I'm saying. Um, the video I was going to play for you was like my moment. I found it on the internet. It's Steve Murphy getting in front of the camera on Remembrance Day, using his retirement speech, his little monologue, to tell us, the viewers, that um, getting vaccinated was as selfless as going to war in World War II. And then if you're not doing that, you're a selfish, awful human being. It was 2.5 minutes straight of a monologue of him just trashing everybody that didn't get vaccinated. I That was the moment for me. I think we all have had those moments. I wish I could play it for you, but maybe I'll try to share it later. Um, but it just paints the picture of how hard the media tried to convince us that we were the biggest pieces of crap for not getting vaccinated. Again, it's so hard for people to accept that the media and government are lying to them. And again, as these new look out for hate speech posters cycle around, I don't know if you've seen them yet, and law enforcement tries to start amping up to put people behind bars for sharing their opinion, I'm going to do it while it's still free to do it and say any law enforcement that chooses to uphold these sick and inhumane laws has a special place in hell. And when these laws do get reversed, when someone else comes to power, you're going to have to answer to somebody. And it might just be to the people, but eventually that will be enough. So if you're a person that can willfully carry out these laws that are unconstitutional, like I said, there's a special place in hell for you, but the people will never forget who you are. You are making choices now that are going to have huge repercussions for your soul. Because the judicial system isn't doing its job to hold real criminals to justice or deport them, but they have prioritized creating new laws that only serve to shut you up. And the process to create those new laws is pretty expensive. And they're using your tax dollars to do it while telling you there isn't enough to go around for you. And you'll have to make sacrifices. Those are literally words they use. And then they rack up $192,000 in in-flight services. This is a pattern across countries. This is an agenda. This is a plot for the ultra elite to finally shut us up for good while they live however they want to. Every Commonwealth country has joined this sick agenda that is proving to not work anywhere in the world. Europe's your crystal ball. It's not meant to work. It's not meant to work in your favor anyway. It's meant to work in theirs. And I know you might think it's dramatic to compare our state of affairs in Canada to Hunger Games, but that's what they're trying to do. These movies are here to warn you, folks. This one and Avatar, you don't come up with movies like that without being an artist with a different mind. And being an artist means you see things for what they are behind the mask. The movie is an exaggerated version of what we are starting to see now. And how do you boil a frog? Slowly. And that's what they're doing with each one of these bills, one bill at a time. The media has radicalized people on the left while telling you the right is radical. They will tell on themselves every time. Every time. You want to know what they're up to? It's whatever they are accusing the right of. Because they think that if they point it out and they show you that this is what somebody else is doing, you won't think to look at them for doing it. It's crazy, but it's if you know what to look for, you know what they're hiding. The right hasn't been radical at all, though. The right has been peaceful all along, deliberately, because we know we lose the true fight when we give into hatred and violence, and we truly do believe in what we're standing for. The left, on the other hand, and it's not to their fault, has become a radical industry. You have paid protesters, major donors, fake rage without fact or ground. You have paid instigators and paid actors, paid influencers now performing in the same manner as the media, expecting no one to notice. It's a script, you morons. And whether people acknowledge their own ability to do this or not, everyone has discernment. Everyone's eyes will tell them authentic or not authentic. What do you feel when someone speaks? That's how you know. So when you get that, like, a little twitch in your neck that makes you want to swing your chin to one side while your gut says, someone's lying to you. It's built into your DNA to be able to see that. So when that happens, when you're watching an influencer and they're using words that other influencers have used, and it doesn't quite feel natural, it's paid, can't trust the message, go do some digging, find out what they're actually talking about on your own. Seriously. But something this is doing for us is exposing everyone's loyalties. If you have very good discernment about people, help those around you see as well, but like gently and kindly. These idiots don't even know that they're exposing themselves by what they defend in their speech. You just got to be smart enough to see. And this is the real root of the problem: the government and the media getting away with lying and people not being smart enough to know what to look for. And a lot of people want to deny it's even happening. Why? Why do you want to be made a fool of by believing something that isn't true? Why won't some people just educate themselves? I hope this is stirring up all kinds of good conversation over there. I can't look at, and talk at the same time, but because part of the media and liberal tactic these days is to discredit and teach its viewers to discredit anything that didn't come from those two sources, government or media. Give it whatever face or TV station you want. Discredit and name calling, that's what they do. It's actually really childish. And when you're awake and you see behavior for what it is, this is embarrassing for people. I feel like the puppets in the mainstream media just sit there and name call and bang their fists like a toddler about everyone that challenges the narrative that they're trying to spin, while they line their pockets, while they're blackmailed, while they're held hostage by whoever. They can't debate a single point for point debate. So when you know the patterns, you start seeing it everywhere, but it tells you alliances. So we need to be grateful that we can actually just know that by using our eyes. Take lots of screenshots, though, folks. These people's faces and names that assisted in the criminality of this government, because there will come a day of reckoning. And like I said before, current judicial systems have become corrupt and are not doing their jobs. So these current criminals that are in our government and in the media can at least be held accountable in the eyes of the people. These people are going to get their own karma. Bibi Netanyahu actually thinks dark could ever overcome God. He really believes that. He said it out loud. And it's his mission. And he's destroying America from the inside out, and he's using Donald Trump to do it. Between him and Epstein, I believe we have found the devil himself. Epstein's not dead, folks. Satan is alive and well. But God has returned, just like he said he would. And Yeshua is also alive and well. I really think that the devil exposed himself when he killed Charlie. And I think if you're watching, Candace is driving the sword straight through him. The veils that have been in place for hundreds of years are peeling away through her investigations, and we've been able to get a glimpse of true evil. Facts the public never would have heard if it weren't for her investigative journalism. This girl is single-handedly changing the world right now through her work and her faith in God, and she is my inspiration to sit here in front of you today. I am envious and proud of everything that she's doing to shift humanity in a positive direction and expose the truth. I'm not speaking to the entire left, but I just want to highlight some things that are happening in the media and from people that is fundamentally wrong on either side of the aisle. I really don't want to sow more division here. So let's be clear. Like when I'm criticizing, I'm more so talking about the left-wing media and government, not the supporters. The supporters are under a brainwash that is not their fault, in my view. It's like an MK Ultra of sorts. So I really genuinely try to have compassion. They believe they are right and that I am the crazy misinformed one, and I have no interest in proving them wrong. What my concern is actually cutting through to that person to show them what they're doing. I've cracked a few people, but they sometimes maybe end up not liking me. It kind of can become a bit of a sore spot because the truth kind of is uncomfortable sometimes. And I just seem to be holding up a mirror to people a lot of the time. But back to my point, I don't agree with the with the lack of common decency of people in the media, that they speak so disrespectfully of the right and its supporters and constantly trying to whip up emotions, hatred, and division. And it works. People go out and bomb Tesla dealerships. They wouldn't have gotten to that point on their own, relying on the truth. I am someone that spends a lot of time watching full-length interviews, House of Commons, press briefings, and everything else. I know a lot more about what's going on in the world than maybe the average person. And I don't want to burn Tesla dealerships. Germans didn't have a reason for their level of hatred towards Jews except for the programming that they were given on repeat. So, what reason do you have for your level of hatred for Trump? Why not Bibi? Why not Epstein? Why not Carney and Trudeau? They've done a lot worse to you personally, but you're not seething with hatred. Real criminals running countries and harming women and children and men, and no one bats an eye. And all day long, the left wing media goes, Trump's fault, Trump's fault. And people get so bought into it, they become crippled with anger and hatred themselves. Stop watching it, folks. Stop watching the sound clips. Don't watch the suggested videos. Don't trust the media for a second. You have no reason to. They're not keeping you informed about things you should know. They're keeping your mind trapped in a lie, in a different reality than truth. They're preying on your fears and creating an army of online idiots toting nonsense to defend anything and everything their government and media says. We're glitching out here pretty bad, I think. I don't know if that's. It's a script. Sorry, I gotta pause here for a second because I feel like my. Yeah, I'm just glitching right out. Is my phone overheating? Yeah. We have techie problems over here. We got it together there? Anyway, I'm not very technically inclined, so I've seen lots of loved ones take themselves off of my socials because they didn't like what I had to say about this stuff. And it hurt from some of them, I won't lie. And because here I was a girl on my own, fighting for a music career, fighting for survival and for truth and God all at the same time. And I don't know if you know this, but those things are very hard to do all at the same time. Um, but the truth is far more important than my music career right now. And I can't live with myself knowing what I know and knowing I didn't try to do what I could to help humanity with what little platform I might have. The only regret is not trying. Nothing is a failure after that. Some things take many attempts, but the only failure is not trying. And I made a couple promises to myself at the beginning of this dark night of the soul that I've been on. One is that I would not let the things that were happening to me harden me or change my heart. And two, that I would never live with regrets. And to keep myself out of regrets, I always, the only thing you can do is to try and to try your best and to make choices out of love and not fear. And you can't have regrets if you do that. I also knew that with as much conviction as I said things sometimes, my mind could change tomorrow about something and I could be wrong. And I was okay with that. And I'm okay with being wrong today. I was saying what was true to what I knew in the moment. And I was true to myself in sharing it. I still felt the need to share it anyway. Our minds are allowed to change and we're allowed to be wrong. It's part of the human experience. Sometimes what I share could spark a different thought in someone else. And it's not necessarily exactly what I'm saying. That's the point. It's about being open to learning. Why have we shut that down in ourselves and given so much faith to other people's opinions of what's happening in the world? But coming back to my point about people leaving my socials, a lot of those faces have started to pop back up since Fauci's trial. And I'm not proud about that at all. I feel very reassured that the world is waking up and maybe can see what I've been trying to say all this time. It's hard to see things and know things other people don't. And then, yes, sometimes sitting here talking to no one, just as we try to get this going, it still matters. It's still important. It still needs to be said because it's about unity in the up down fight, folks. I said it in my first live, but this is part of the Avatar movie where they're flying around to all the tribes trying to get everybody on the same team against the bigger fight. I'm trying to be one of those messengers in whatever small way I can. We can't overcome it any other way unless we have people on the inside willing to do the right thing and stand up for humanity instead of these pedo elites. That's looking like a grim perspective, but I'd like to think that people kind of keep ending up not with us anymore when they try to stand up to it. So I think that it's going to come down to you and I together to solve this problem. And I will continue to propose a stay at home convoy. Truckers, stay down. Stand down in Canada until liberals are completely out. We are living under constructs that we agree upon. We've been indoctrinated into, but we can agree upon other things and reject the entire system. Maybe it can be fixed, but like I've said, education, medical, government, religion all need to crumble to make way for new. There's too much corruption, ulterior motives, profit, ideology, and none of it speaks to where we are now. The other thing I did want to mention is talking about being a lie detector or a deception detector, and you have that in you. You're born with that. The people running this little Ponzi whatever, it's they know it too. And if you pay attention, a lot of these people who have something to lose, they will never directly come out and deny claims about something that we know they did, because they know that if they were to say it visibly for you in front of a camera, you would know. You would know whether they were lying or not. So therefore, they never directly address a lot of things, especially as it pertains to Candace Owens's investigations all around, Charlie Kirk or not. They won't ever come out and say, "No, I didn't do that," or "That's a lie," or anything like that, because you would be able to tell that they were lying. Anyway, I really could go on and on and on, but I really want to. I like. I could cut it off. What do we got going on here? Hey Joe, how's it going? Jeffrey Epstein vacation. What kind of name is that? Oh my god. Now those very same people are coming. Oh, no, that's it. Oh, quite playing. Why is there an OF comment every time? Every time. uh Yeah, there's definitely some things coming. I had a whole breakup over Candace Owens and defending her investigations one time. It was crazy. If you're out there watching, hey. Uh, uh. People don't realize that they drop little comments, and then like I have no idea what they're responding to. So like when I read it back, I don't know how to read these and talk at the same time. I'll get better, I swear. No, yeah, they're the same ones that are committing genocide for sure. Um, oh, Brax attack. Do you need a hug? I will hug you. Are you still out there? Do you need a hug? I'm sending you love right now, Brax attack. um, yeah, but I think more people need to wake up to uh what I'm talking about, and so this might not be the last time we do this little live on this particular topic, and we're going to snip and cut all this up and share it. But I don't know. I think I might have had a little glitch in the middle of that too. But anyway, thanks for listening, y'all. That's my little ramble on Canada and the mainstream. Doesn't look like we got anything to kind of go back and forth with. I was really hoping that this might conjure up some more good debate in the comment section, but y'all playing shy. That's okay. We're still little. We're still getting off the ground. It's still important. Like I said, you just never know. And we need all the faces that we can, all the voices, you know, as we can conjure in this fight. And yeah, so I hope this has been insightful and helpful. And we'll see you all next Tuesday. Love ya.